Hello, welcome to the Wellness Lab podcast, where we are striving to provide valuable insights and information for anyone listening to us from a health and wellness perspective. And today we're happy to talk to Rodrigo about how MedPro is revolutionizing some specimen collection through technology driven solutions and scalable care. So, without further ado, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here and for your willingness to provide insights and this great information that I know will be beneficial for our audience. So, over to you to provide us a quick overview of what you do, your background as well, to know more about yourself, and then we'll dive into the conversation.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Rodrigo Mora, and I am the Associate Director for Business Development here at MedPro Direct. We are a nationwide phlebotomy and specimen collection network. We are in all 50 states, so that kind of sets us aside from everybody else because we have the reach. We have over 15,000 phlebotomists that work with us. Not only phlebotomists, we also have registered nurses, LVNs, part of the group as well. But our strength really comes from our phlebotomy network. We've been around for about 20 years. And we do have a platform with APIs that you can integrate into your own system. The platform that we use it to schedule appointments, to reach out to the patients, collect all the samples, and then also use it for the shipping back to the lab. We're lab agnostic, so we can send it to any lab that our patients, or I should say our clients, want the sample sent to.
Amazing, thank you. And well, really interesting. You have this platform that helps streamline the process, simplify the overall experience for others or patients in this case. So it's really interesting to know. And then, is this a platform that is like there's an app for it, or it's just like you go on your web browser and that's how it works?
We do have an app that goes along with it. So some of our phlebotomists, when they're out in the field, they go on and you can get live feedback from what they're doing, when they left to the appointment, when the appointment was done, when was the specimen collection, how it was shipped. They can take pictures of any type of protocol paperwork that they may need. The tubes themselves, they can take pictures of the tubes to make sure that everything was collected properly. So if there's ever a problem in the chain, we can find out where the problem happened.
And talking about the specimen collection, there's probably some support as of how to collect it, if there's any specific frequently asked questions. And then my assumption, and you can correct me, there might be a video or something that will guide them through the process and make things overall easy, have a streamlined process, and obviously create efficiencies throughout the overall logistics and whatnot.
That's right. We do offer that, but specifically for clinical trials, they're very specific on protocol. So every study is going to have a different protocol, but we do get that information ahead of time. We do download that for the apps so the phlebotomists can actually see what the process is, just in case they forgot during their training, because we also do the training for them. But we have to follow the protocols because protocols are very specific. So we do have pictures of the kits involved, how many tubes they have to collect, if the samples need any type of processing, that's also part of the protocol. So all of that is all combined into the app for the phlebotomist to see and for us to be on par with our clients.
Amazing. So it looks like you have looked into many different moving pieces that will create an overall great experience. And the other thing that it's really interesting to know and important for this type of products and services would be the clinical trials, like how much do you put into research development. I think that also can make a case for how strong MedPro is and how it can help others throughout their process on
Sure.
healthcare.
Well, I think when it comes to clinical trials, what our clients like the most about us is that we can streamline according to the workflows that they have. So the platform that we have is not a one platform for everybody. We actually change the platform to the needs of each individual study and to each client. So if they say this is what we need from the platform, what we need from you in order to collect any type of data, this is what we need. We will create that platform, and it changes individually for each study and for each client. So it's not a one size fits all for everybody. And they really like that.
Perfect. And the other thing that is really interesting that I learned last time that we had a quick chat was how you have gone and created these strategic partnerships that will help obviously accelerate growth, drive adoption, and there's names that will resonate with others like Mayo Clinic, and you can name many others that others might be familiar. But as you mentioned, this is something interesting to learn, and as well, it's customized and geared towards a patient-centric experience.
Exactly. I think that's the most important thing is that we're trying to reach out for enrollment purposes. That's so important for clinical trials. But let's be real about this. Without retention, enrollment means nothing. So you got to keep those patients involved in the clinical trial. You got to keep them engaged in the trial in order for them to complete because you can enroll them, but if they don't stick around, then the trial is going to be a failure. So the fact that we're there keeping that engagement with those patients and keeping them with the retention aspect involved, it's huge for clinical trials. And our partners really do like that. Like you said, Mayo Clinic, Fortrea, Premier Research, these are great companies, and we're so proud to be partnering with them to reach out to as many patients as possible, especially patients that are in underserved communities, because they're always thinking, what are we going to do to reach out to these patients? Well, you can build a brick and mortar somewhere near them, but realistically speaking, you can come to us. We can go into those communities, and the phlebotomists and our examiners, as I call them, they work in the communities that they live in. So you're also helping them out because these phlebotomists live in these communities and they're familiar with the communities. So it's a win-win overall for everybody.
That's great and amazing to learn that. And do you think part of the adoption, and that's maybe an assumption I have here, had a lot of traction throughout pandemic? Well, did that serve a purpose somewhat? Like I know there's downsides, but like some of the silver linings, I can say, might be that.
Yes, this was definitely a silver lining, especially when we're talking about decentralized clinical trials. I think before the pandemic, it was just kind of like, nah, just the thought, maybe we can do this. Once the pandemic hit, it was no option. They had to embrace the decentralized clinical trial aspect of it, and it's been gaining momentum. And now that we're here in 2026, Happy New Year, everybody, you can actually see that this is not an option anymore. This is the wave of the future. The adoption process for it is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. And it's definitely a process that's for today, that's happening now, and it's definitely for the future as well.
Perfect. Okay, give me just a second. And talking about the trials and how the growth happened, do you think there's we're going to be sharing down low, like down at the comment section, we're sharing your LinkedIn profile, the website,
Thank
anyone
you.
interested on learning more, on finding out really interesting topics or I will say data will be on your LinkedIn profile. I know I've gone and I've seen some of the posts. So one of the key things we're trying to achieve as well throughout this platform is to provide this educational content that will serve the audience, right? To know there's something out there that will serve their purpose. And the neat thing is here it can be for the client, like the end user, but as well the main like buyer personas, to put it in simple terms for anyone, or the main people you serve. That will be the best approach. Will be like health insurance companies, research organizations, you name it, like genetic testing providers. I know there's a lot of different healthcare professionals and businesses that will be really benefited from this. So is there any specific thing you want to pinpoint regarding who will benefit from it and how they can learn more, either looking into the website or just connecting with you via LinkedIn?
Yeah, well, I would like to say that if someone has an idea of collaboration, because sometimes I may not have the idea, but I mean, I'm in business development, so I'm constantly thinking, how can I collaborate with somebody? So if somebody that's listening to this has an idea for collaboration, please feel free to reach out to me and educate me a little bit, and we can work together. But I think that when we're talking about patient centricity, we're talking about lessening the burden for patients. Because that's really the issue that we have. We have patients that are in oncology. What the feedback that we get from the oncology sector is that they have to be going in for labs a lot, and it really drains them because they have to think about, the drive, the parking, and you have to do it again next week. Well, if you can alleviate that, we can help patients in oncology. It doesn't mean that they're going to do everything from home. It just means that you're lessening the burden for them so they can, participate and be comfortable. So patient centricity. You have geriatric patients. Geriatric patients are very special. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but some of them don't drive anymore. And some people don't think about that. You want to set up an appointment for them to go get a lab. Well, how are they going to drive somewhere when they don't have a car? Now they have to call somebody, a relative, a friend, or Lyft, or an Uber, just to go get a lab done. Well, if you can go to them directly, get the labs for them at home. Hello, that's what I'm talking about. Patient centricity. That's real patient needs. And that's what we're trying to address. We're trying to go to them where they're at, meet them where they're at. That way they don't have to worry about all of the transportation and all of the logistics of going out for a simple blood draw.
That's amazing and totally on point. I think solving these problems that might sound really trivial, easy
Mm-hmm.
for others, like if you're not going to the lab every, I don't know, every other week or depending on what you're being tested for, it can mean a big difference for others, as you mentioned, like elder people, the anyone that has gone. My mom had cancer, so I do
Yeah,
picture that, and I remember how many times she had to go, and they really go through a hard time recovering, gaining energy from the treatment.
that's
So
right.
just alleviating that piece, and also just not being at like this facility like for the blood work, then to further
That's right.
treatment and whatnot. So you totally are solving some of these pain points that really will make a will become are they are a game changer from a health wellness perspective. Like you, at least you don't have that burden
That's
and
right.
just that. And the other thing you mentioned last time, talking about the main or users that might be uh, uh, that will have this maybe not the best experience, will be also probably small children, and
That's
for
right.
parents it will be also sometimes it's just easier to do it instead of taking them places and making sure they're comfortable, and not just maybe the nervousness around it and all the logistics behind it, right?
That's right, because we're talking about being in an environment that you're comfortable in. And especially if you're talking about children, you're talking about their home. They feel comfortable at home. The mother feels comfortable at home. The father feels comfortable at home. You don't have to worry about getting them ready, or the sisters or the brothers or whoever else you have to take with you to that appointment for the blood draw. They feel comfortable at home. The parents are there. So you're being very patient centric. You're making them feel comfortable, and you're making them feel willing to participate in their treatment.
Yes, I agree. And obviously, just to reiterate what you mentioned at the beginning, the coverage you have is across the 50 US states. I just
That's
want
right.
to make sure anyone listening has that clear, which is amazing. I know not everyone sometimes has that full capacity
That's
to
right.
cover the territory, but that makes a difference for sure.
It does. Huge, huge difference. Our reach is everything. And then the professionalism that our phlebotomists have, we really rely on them. We have a tier one network where the 20 percentile, the top 20 percentile, that's who we want to send out there, because we want them to do a professional job. We want them to connect with the patients, but we also want them to report to our clients, making sure that everything is done properly. And patients actually get a questionnaire sent to them after the draw, asking them, was the phlebotomist professional? Did they arrive on time? Did they treat me with respect? So these are things that are really meaningful to patients, because they get to give the feedback onto how this experience was. And then we get to report that directly to our clients as well.
Great. And that will be translated more from a business standpoint, that client retention satisfaction, which obviously translates into growth and that overall uh, happiness, in this case, wellness for others. And it's really important
Mhm.
that role it plays, like this specific solution plays that role for lots of others that are in need of some blood work done and other type of studies. So that's great. And if there's anything probably there must be like something really key within the roadmap that you are planning to launch, or what's next, any enhancements that others might be really excited, interested to learn. Maybe there would be, just to make things up, right? Like you have partnerships, it might be partnerships with um, just making things up, like a dietitians or nutritionist, or some things that will also complement what things that are happening, what to do maybe after you get some blood work done, how to take care of yourself and get some of those nutrients, or things that might be relevant and interesting. Just making things up, but you're the one that knows well what are what's within the roadmap, and if there's anything that others need to really keep an eye on and follow you for those insights and new things that are coming.
Sure. Well, we are members of Cancer X. We're also members of the American Telemedicine Association, and that's what triggered me right now, the ATA, because we're talking about telemedicine. And I've always said, listen, if you're going to tell people, it's so easy for you to have a telemedicine appointment with a doctor now. I see it everywhere. I see commercials all the time. Get your medicine, talk to the doctor now. Why would you end that at-home experience sending somebody after that appointment to a brick and mortar? Now you got to go out of your house. Now you got to go do this out of your house. Why would you do that? The future is, no, you got to continue that. You have your appointment with your doctor over your phone or on your computer, and then you can also schedule that appointment immediately for someone to come knock on your door, get your blood work done, collect the urine sample, the blood sample, whatever samples are needed, hair samples, skin samples. We do all kinds of stuff. If you need some type of vital measurements taken, our phlebotomists can do that as well. So our scope is limited, but we do varied things. But why end that? With telemedicine, we have a partnership with Nice Healthcare. They're a nationwide healthcare company, and we collaborate with them in order to do exactly that. They have their doctors that reach out to their patients. If these patients need any type of lab work, we go out to the patients, collect that for them. So that could be a whole 360 experience for the patient. Instead of having to leave their house and go get those labs done, it's a 360 experience for them.
Yes, that's perfect. And it's amazing because, as you said, like you're halfway there and then, oh, now you need to go and do the rest, and just go into this maybe situation that will be cumbersome, specifically for certain geographical members.
That's
So
right.
obviously that's great. And well, really interesting to learn, to see how you are providing this value to others and how their health can be improved with little things, as you mentioned, like this component telehealth. We know we've moved from a really in person to a virtual world, and there are things that might be amazing to do in person, but I think others that can save you time, that can save you nerve, like stress and hassle and just lineups and whatnot. We know it can be a game changer. So
That's
it is
right.
really
That's right.
interesting.
We're talking about time here, right? Time is precious to everybody, including our patients. So when you're talking about sending somebody out to go get a lab, you're talking about 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to get back. That's just 1 hour on the drive time. Then you're going to get there. Then you have to wait in line for, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. All of a sudden, this small visit turns into a 2 hour to 3 hour, maybe 4 hour journey that you have to take off. Instead of just scheduling something, somebody comes into your home at the time that you want them to show up. You tell them, hey, show up at 11 a.m. I'll be ready then. They show up at 11, they do everything for you. You're done and you're at home. It's very simple. And you're right. It's so simple. It's something that's so easy. You think about that. Wow, this is so easy, but it's not done everywhere. So we're trying to move forward. And thanks to you and this platform, we're trying to get the word out to let people know, listen, you've been talking about patient centricity for 10 years now. You've been talking about this. What are you doing about it instead of talking about it? You're talking about protocols for clinical trials. You're saying these are the protocols. This is what we want to do. We want to reach out to underserved communities. Okay, how are you doing that? Is it written in your protocol already? So we're trying to push them to say, okay, this is what we need to do in order to make that a reality, not just words.
Well, I love that as a conclusion because you are really getting into that specific point, like how you are serving others, providing solutions, bringing this important topic like time. Time is money. Time is valuable for
Mhm.
maybe time with loved ones, not only the money per se,
Hmm.
but time is key for everyone. Like time is something that is scarce these days and always. And the other key thing, as you said, like pushing for change, driving things
Yes.
forward. And if others haven't done it or haven't gone the next step and the next mile to complete it, it's amazing to hear that that's something you are really excited and capable to move forward. So congratulations, and thanks as well for being part of this community of the platform, and happy to help spread the word.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting with you today and reaching out to your listeners. And I hope that we can collaborate even more in the future.
Amazing. Yes, I agree. We'll do that. And well, thank you for being here. Happy to talk to you, Rodrigo.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thanks, you too.